What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to talk about Festival of the Lost Weapons for 2024, and of course the festival event is returning to Destiny 2 for Revenant on the 29th of October, and we'll get at least a couple of weeks of the event being active, so that'll give us a good opportunity to go after some of the rewards. Of course, there is a brand new weapon for Festival this year, but on top of that, all of the old weapons have been updated, so we've got new perk pools on them, which include some potentially pretty juicy rolls. We'll talk about all of that, as well as some additional rewards for Festival this year, focusing options and a handful of other things in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, get subscribed to the channel, as around 60% of the viewers on this channel aren't actually subscribed, and that makes a huge difference if you do enjoy the content. So I appreciate that, but now let's get into it. And before we talk about the brand new weapons, it's worth a quick mention for Festival. Of course, there will be new armor, as well as returning armor sets from the previous years. All of these are Bright Dust items, so they aren't earned through gameplay, but they can be purchased for either silver or Bright Dust. And then separately, for the weapons and some of the other rewards, there will be focusing options. So we'll have a focus decoding menu on either Levante. That'll allow us to open engrams or focus for specific weapons and rolls. Plus we'll see the return of exotic decoding, which gives players opportunities to pick up additional exotic armor pieces. And one of the big components this year is that we're going to see the introduction of exotic class items as a purchasable reward during the event. Although for the moment, it's believed that it's probably likely to be the case that we have to have earned these from Dual Destiny. Either way, it does mean there are quite a few rewards to go after during this event, and that includes the new weapons. So the new festival weapon this year is the Arcane Embrace, and this is an arc heavy burst shotgun. So as far as I understand it, this is the first time we've had a heavy burst shotgun, which fires a hard-hitting 2-round burst and slightly reduces flinching from incoming fire while aiming. So as an archetype, it should be quite an interesting weapon. It also looks fairly cool. And for perks, in the first trait column, we've got Air Trigger, as well as 4th times the Charm, Grave Robber, Lone Wolf, Slide Shot, Jewel Loader, and Threat Detector. Then in the second column, we can get Closing Time, as well as Desperado, and reloading after precision final blows will increase the rate of fire, which is interesting for this weapon. But there's also Precision Instrument, Surrounded, Tap the Trigger, and then the Swashbuckler or Volt Shot. So some quite interesting perks on this weapon, and there are actually a few good rolls depending on what you want to go after. There's the more sort of classic shotgun options, but I think it could be interesting to play around with things like Air Trigger or Threat Detector paired up with Volt Shot, of course. For 2 of those second trait slot bonuses, things like Volt Shot or Desperado, fast reloads are of course going to be beneficial. I'm not sure if the automatic reloads from perks like Slide Shot or Grave Robber will work with either Volt Shot or Desperado, but otherwise Air Trigger and Threat Detector or Jewel Loader and Volt Shot could be pretty nice as well. But like I said, there's plenty of options. Even things like Grave Robber and Swashbuckler could be nice. And given that this is a new archetype, it'll also be interesting to try out some of the other damage bonuses like Precision Instrument or Surrounded. So let us know what you think of that weapon down below and any specific rolls that you fancy chasing on it. This year though, we'll also see the return of the Jurassic Green, which is a solar rapid fire frame pulse rifle. A couple of new perks have been thrown into the pool here, so in trait slot 1, it can roll Closing Time, Lone Wolf, Loose Change, and then it can get Keep Away, Heal Clip, Rangefinder, or Subsistence. Second trait slot can get Under Pressure, as well as Kill Clip, Adrenaline Junkie, Desperate Measures, Frenzy, Headseeker, and Incandescent. All of these perks, I should mention, pair up with the Origin trait for Festival, which is Search Party, and the weapon's granted faster aim down sight speed and movement speed while aiming down sights when no allies are near. Plus this has the field-tested Origin trait, and defeating targets or dealing damage with the weapon gradually increase range, stability, handling, and reload speed, so worth keeping that in mind. There's some nice pairings there, of course. Heal Clip, Incandescent. I think we might have been able to roll that last year. Closing Time could also be potentially quite a good bonus here, especially if you're going after a PvP roll paired up with Headseeker or indeed Kill Clip. But other new introductions like Lone Wolf or Loose Change could be interesting, so again, let us know your thoughts on that one. That takes us to the Macabre, which is the Arc Aggressive Frame Sniper. Again, a couple of perk updates here for the season, so we've got Keep Away, as well as Triple Tap, Clown Cartridge, Snapshot Sights, Air Trigger, Lone Wolf, and Demolitionist in the first trait slot, and those can pair up with Closing Time, Opening Shot, Volt Shot, To the Pain, Discord, and then there's also Firing Line or Vorpal Weapon. I'd be curious to see how potent a combo of things like Lone Wolf and To the Pain could be here, purely for all of the stat improvements that we get. But otherwise, there are pretty classic sniper bonuses there, so again, let us know what you might go after. We also have the Cosmic Grenade Launcher. This is a Void Rapid Fire Frame Grenade Launcher. And first trade slot can get Clown Cartridge, Enlightened Action, Impulse Amplifier, Air Trigger, Slick Draw, and then it can get Reverberation or Withering Gaze. Withering Gaze is a new perk this season as well. Aiming the weapon for a short period of time without firing grants the ability to weaken the next target, and the timer resets after firing or when you stop aiming down sights. That could be good for some damage on this thing. Second trait slot though can get Cascade Point, Explosive Light, Destabilizing Rounds, Chain Reaction, then there's Bait and Switch, as well as Deconstruct and Frenzy. This also will get the Nadir Origin trait on top of the Festival one. And again, Air Trigger right here could be an interesting one as it grants increased ammo reserves, and that will pair up pretty easily with more or less any of the bonuses in the second slot. Plus I think Reverberation paired up with Chain Reaction, or indeed Destabilizing Rounds, could be pretty good. And I think other interesting combos could be things like Withering Gaze with Cascade Point or Explosive Light. But next up we have the Horror Story. This is a precision frame kinetic auto rifle. I say kinetic, actually it looks like it's been updated to status, as it can roll Headstone. First trade slot though can get Elemental Capacitor, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Discord, Enlightened Action, Under Over, Envious Assassin, and Demolitionist. Then the second slot can get Headstone, plus there's Collective Action, Target Lock, Cascade Point, Frenzy, Vorpal Weapon, or Adrenaline Junkie. I'd be quite curious to see what Cascade Point would actually be like on an auto rifle, especially if you paired it up with Envious Assassin. There could be some massive magazines there. Interesting combos like Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie, but of course having another Stasis auto with Headstone in general pairs nicely with the perks that we have this season. Finally though, there's also the Braytech Werewolf, which is a kinetic precision frame auto rifle, so the same archetype as Horror Story, but base kinetic damage. And there's Dynamic Sway Reduction, Lone Wolf, Overflow, Pugilist, Rewind Rounds, Subsistence, and Zen Moment. And they can pair up with Kill Clip, Swashbuckler, Tap the Trigger, Target Lock, plus there's Onslaught, Desperate Measures, and Kinetic Tremors. Subsistence and Kinetic Tremors could be quite nice. You could also pair that with Onslaught pretty nicely as well. Otherwise, a few of the perks are similar to last year, but as always, once again, let us know what you're looking forward to rolling on any of these weapons down in the comment section. And so there we have it, a quick breakdown of the weapons for Festival this year, all of the updated perks, and of course with the focusing options, it makes going after specific weapons a little bit easier. Generally though, for any of these events, we tend to see a lot of weapon drops, so hopefully we'll have reasonably good RNG picking up the ones that we're going after. So share your thoughts below, but if you found the video helpful today, a rating really does help us on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content. Otherwise though, thanks as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.